Racing eSeries. I was almost going to call the abbreviation. The Authentic Racing eSeries BTCC 2025 Championship. My name is Olaf, aka Pops Racing, and I'll be your commentator for tonight. Unfortunately, Tom is at the track in real life at the moment, so he won't be here in the box for today. But I do have our lovely race director Peter Cornelius showing you all the pictures of the screen while we are going through this event. As per usual, we have the same format with the same drivers all ready for you in the background. And these are the drivers that we're looking at. Peterson, Bristow, Johnson, Williams, and Garritto currently also should be on track. Cornelius, Maskel, Raquelme, and Josh Nesbitt. These are the BMWs that we saw on track and have seen for the past races. Thibaut Geurten and Max Luding. They'll be in the Astras, I believe. Renee and the Bighorn. The practice session, the qualifying session already, that is going on. Budgeon, Porter, Hayes and Nesbitt, where we've only seen Hayes and Ben Nesbitt so far. Madhouse, Sokowski, and Sewald. Sewald has made some appearances. Madhouse won before, one to beat. Noah Batts, Paris, and Gilbert, all contenders as well. Matt Raid, Andringham, and Ollie Hutton as well, one of our main men as it stands in the standings. We'll get to that in just a moment. And that should be everyone. Here we have him, the championship standings. Like I said, Hutton in fifth place with quite a close battle. He's got a few points ahead and a few points behind. But our leader here, Josh Nesbitt, after clinching quite a few wins, is confidently first with 27 points lead over Raquelme, who has shown quite some consistency in the podiums, in the top 5 finishes. Thibaut Geurten has had some more unfortunate incidents in the races, some more unfortunate finishing positions, so he's currently in third place. Ben Nesbitt, father of Josh, in fourth place, holding that with only 1 point deficit to Thibaut. And Ollie Hutton, William Johnson, Josh Cornelius, Lewis Gilbert, and Rick Bristow. Finally, Ben Maskel in the top 10. And we can see it's quite a close battle between third place, quite a close one between 8th as well. Then down to 12, we see Peterson and Madsby, Peterson and Bighorn with the same amount of points in 12th. Williams and Madhouse with the same amount of points in 14th. And then also Luding, Renee, and Hayes with 9 points in shared 18th place. So there's quite a lot of positions that drivers are currently looking at, well, at the same amount of points, and equally good points finishes will give them a lot of positions in the championship standings. And as for the regulations, we have HEMS regulations, the Hybrid Energy Management Systems. Big shout out to the ARS team for getting these graphics up for you guys, so you guys all have the same information. The Hybrid Energy Management System is something that can only be used after a certain at a certain speed, a certain amount of times per lap, a certain amount of times per track, per race. So race 1 allocation is based on the championship standings. Race 2 allocations will be based on the results of race 1, and the race 3 allocations are based on the championship standings after race 2. So it's basically the same as race 1, but then with the updated standings after the first 2 races. You can use up to a maximum of 15 seconds per lap. The point system, as it stands, 1 point for fastest lap in qualifying, 1 point for fastest lap in each race, 1 point for leading 1 full lap during a race, with a maximum of 1 point of leading that lap per race. So if you're the only driver to lead the entire race, you will get exactly 1 point. And the points allocations on the left-hand side of the screen, points from 1st down to 15th. And also we have some tire regulations that we have hards, mediums, and the softs, and you have to use the hard compound at least once. So you have to use 2. Oh, every event uses 2 out of 3. Apologies. Hard, medium, and soft, and you have to use 2 out of the 3 compounds. So the 2 that are available, you have to use those 2. So if it's the softs and the hards, you have to use the hard compound at least once. If you finish in the top 3 in race number 1, you'll be forced onto the hard compound for the race number 2. And if you don't adhere to these rules, that will result in a disqualifier from race number 3. And we have seen this happen before, so the drivers are all aware of this rule. So if you finish in the top 3, race 2 grid will be starting from the finishing position of race 1. So the top 3 finishers will start then on the hard compound, giving them a little bit of a disadvantage compared to the rest of the grid. It's all strategy for those drivers to see which tires am I going to use in race 1, which one's in race 2, and then which one will I be left with. So these are the sights from the track currently at Knockhill. We should have Tom in the stand somewhere. He might be standing there as we speak. He has been driving this track in real life in some cars for the past weekend. Currently looking at Maskel, and there's a car on track. That's a big collision in qualifying. Luckily, that doesn't matter too much so far. Cornelius currently with a 50.3 in pole position. And Maskel with 0.3 of a gap to that. So these lap times are quite short. The track is quite short. That means that we have 18 laps per race. So we have one qualifying session, 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes to go, and then 3 races of 18 laps. That should conclude in about 15 minutes per race. So this qualifying session will set the grid for race number 1. The race result from race number 1 will set the grid for race number 2, and then we'll have a live draw to determine the grid order for race number 3. Those familiar with the format will know the infamous wheel of grid reversal. Our lovely race director will spin a wheel, and the positions up to that number will be reversed, and it's either position 7 through 12. So that means that either P7 finishing in race 2 will get pole position, or P12, or any of them in between. The drivers now heading to the pits halfway through this qualifying session, so they will get some new tires on, get ready for their second run out. We have seen lap times into the 49s in the practice session earlier today. So that means that Cornelius with a 50.3, currently heading out on a new set of softs, would perhaps be able to get a little bit of a better time going through this track. Of course, not many places for good overtakes. We're currently running up to a right-hander. That is a small braking zone, not really a big one, but these cars quite big for the track, as you can see. I think 2 wide is possible. 3 wide is going to be very, very difficult at all stages. Near of the hairpin, one of the only places you can realistically overtake just on braking. Riquelme now getting ready for a timed lap. And approaching towards turn 1, you might be able to get an overtake done here if you use the hybrid energy management system. Your HEMS is allowed to be used. You can get a little overtake done here on the straight before you brake a tiny bit and sending it over the curb. Riquelme not leaving anything of the chance. Sending it quite hard into turn 1. Using all the edges of the track for turn number 3. Of course, these laps go by so quickly. You can get so many laps in. I believe we've had 9 laps already for Cornelius, currently in first place. I don't even think I can see the delta as it stands. Riquelme's got a good first sector, an okay second sector. He should jump at least 1 position as he crosses the line, might be 2. See if we can make that 3. Currently in 5th with a 50.9. Going to cross the line, and that's going to be a 50.6. That's going to put him in 2nd place, just ahead of Maskel as Williams jumps up to 4th place. And that's quite close here in the top 5, but that is certainly close for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The one thing that I am looking at is the driver names and also the driver standings, because currently Josh Nesbitt is leading the championship. He is sat in 7th as it stands. Sebastian Riquelme is in 2nd in the standings, also 2nd in the qualifying so far. Then we have Thibaut Geurten in the Astra, who currently isn't present on the track from what I can see. So that means that we don't have Thibaut Geurten in our midst. And that's going to be 3rd place up for grabs. And Ben Nesbitt is right behind him in the standings. So now that I'm going through the cars, I don't think Ben Nesbitt is present either. So that means the entire fight for 3rd place is quite big and quite open. The next one is Ollie Hutton, who is currently in 5th in the standings and also 5th on the qualifying so far. Currently 50.7. Across the line with a 53.2, not improving his time. That was his lap number 11 already. So he's done 3 laps since his previous pit stop. He'll try to get his improvement. That's a big, wide line there as he goes over the sand. The track limits is one of those devious little things here on Knockhill as well. The rules here for the BTCC Championship is you have to have 2 tires on the track at all times. If 2 tires go over the lines, that is fine. If anything of their 3rd tire goes even a little bit on or over the line, it is done for. You will get a warning. Gather enough of those warnings and you get yourself a drive-through penalty. We have seen that happen a few times as Hutton goes around again. This time a little bit slower as well, 53.7. It's not where he wants to be. And Josh Nesbitt, our championship leader, currently trying to find a gap for qualifying, but he does have a car right in front of him. And that looks to be Sokowski in 15th place. Definitely a little bit slower on one lap. Does have the inside, and that's Nesbitt just soaring on past. He really wants to get this place on the track. That leaves Sokowski straggling a little bit further back. This BMW, last of the BMWs, we have seen them gather a little bit before as well. Cornelius, Maskel, and Nesbitt. Sewald jumps our championship leader for 7th place. And these BMWs have been moving around, mostly around the top, and they have been gathering there. Nesbitt is now looking a little bit worse for wear. I think that turn 1 incident, they'll scramble there, has slowed him down. He might be setting himself up for a good lap here now. So that means that he's going over the line with a 51.6. It's about 7/10 slower than what he has done, but now he's chasing this gaggle of cars, trying to make his way through, and that lap is already ruined. Looks like his delta is going all the way up. Now that he's chasing other cars, and that's big contact in qualifying. That's Josh Nesbitt with Porter. That's instantly back towards the pit lane for Nesbitt and for Porter. He's currently sat in 19th, just trying to make his way through. Nesbitt looking for a good finishing position for this qualifying as Maskel goes up to 2nd place. So the number 1 and the number 2 BMW is currently 1st and 2nd. As Callum Williams makes a good effort, puts his Toyota in 3rd place. It's only 2/10 behind. It is quite close. It's a short track, and that means that we will have short gaps in this qualifying session. The thing that I'm most curious about is the race. Of course, we have 18 laps with such a short track, and the pace difference between some of these drivers, we might even see a lot of cars getting lapped as well. It's a good stop for Cornelius, about 3 minutes remaining. Usually I say this is time to get out of the pits for your final lap, but the track is short as this, you'll have 3 laps to go. So even if you do mess up 1 lap, it's not the end of the world. You can just go again, and maybe even once more again. Cornelius wants to get that gap behind, a little bit bigger than half a tenth. And Maskel has gained another 2/10. So he's now very, very close to grabbing that pole position away, and Cornelius wants to get that away. And I have got confirmation that Josh Nesbitt is out of qualifying because he went to teleport back to the pits instead of driving back after that collision. So his car was still drivable, and that means his qualifying is over. That means that he will not be able to set another lap and try for a better time. That 8th place is the best that he can do for tonight. So that means race 1 starting position is 8th at best. It's currently to Young and Gilbert to try and take those positions away. They're currently still driving. And Noah Baats and Sewald looting into the pits right around Nesbitt. So Baats still able to get past. Only a few hundreds away from Nesbitt, and that's what he's going to do. Baats out of the track, out of the pits, onto the track now. So the number 3 car currently roaming around is going to be looking for some improvement. As Cornelius is as well. That's a very, very deep, and that's a good run towards the start. That's a great tactic that the drivers can use. They use that in Spa as well, out of the bus stop chicane, out of the final chicane on the track. Go a little bit wide into the final corner to extend the straight. That gives you just a tiny bit more speed from the finish line to turn number 1. And that is what Cornelius is using. He has gotten a little bit quicker now. 50.1 on the table. 49.8 not seen yet since practice. And Maskel sending it absolutely insanely hard over the curbs in the chicane. Picorn on the mediums up to 15th. That's a slight flex if I do say so. That's Picorn in the number 66 Honda on the mediums up to 15th place. And Ben Maskel currently in 2nd place. He's trying to set up a good run, but I don't think that qualifying lap is going to get him anywhere. Cornelius in the pits, and that is his qualifying over. So 30 seconds left. And if you're on the track, you can't set a lap. Picorn now a little bit wide there, or a little bit too far over the curbs. Don't know if that is completely legal. As Johnson goes up to 16th. Picorn, big slide on the back of the hairpin, goes over the line from 15th and stays in 15th. It's got one more lap to go. The checkered flag is out, and anyone who crosses the line now will have their position solidified, or at least that lap time solidified. That has just happened to a few drivers. As Andringa goes over the line up to 13th place, Maskel goes into the pits. Riquelme drives back in as well. Final drivers now getting their laps, their final moments in. And only a few drivers capable. Noah Batz up to 6th, gets beaten now by Young, has one more try. He's going to cross the line, and nope, he's going to go back into the pits. So that is 6th place for Batz. Ollie Hutton dropped down to 7th. And that does mean that Josh Nesbitt, who had that little incident, is going to be dropping down to 10th place. And that is quite unfortunate. No real improvements as it stands. It does look like Callum Paris is out on the track. Unsure if that is proper for qualifying. I think that is over. And that is Josh Cornelius on pole position, Ben Maskel on the front row right alongside. And that is going to be an interesting start towards the race. Quite a shock, I will say. That is Josh Nesbitt in 10th place, which is, of course, due to a driver error. You have a small collision. You have to drive back to the pits. There's no shot you're allowed to teleport to the pits. That will give you an unfair advantage over those trying to adhere to the rules. So that means that Josh Nesbitt has a 51.641 solidified. Apologies, a 51.012 solidified. That's almost a full second behind Josh Cornelius, who is on pole position. And those BMWs are definitely gathering in the front. Currently, Cornelius in first, Maskel in second, and Sebastian Riquelme in third. In fourth, as Callum Williams is in third in the Toyota Corolla. Young drops it up to 5th place on those final few laps in the Honda Civic. Noah Bounce doing a good job as well, getting up to 6th. Wasn't happy with the previous tracks. Wasn't really too confident. Maskel in second, but now it seems like he's got his confidence in the Hyundai i30 with a 50.8. Right behind that, Ollie Hutton in the Cupra. Yeah, 50.8 as well. Then Luding in the Astra, Sewald in the Hyundai, the last one into the 50s. And then there's Josh Nesbitt. So that is quite unfortunate on the qualifying, but I assume he's got loads and loads of time and space to be grabbing those points back. He also has a 27-point lead in the championship standings. As a reminder, Riquelme is currently in 2nd place, and right behind that we have Gerten, who also who isn't present, and then Ben Nesbitt, who also isn't present, and Ollie Hutton in 5th. So Nesbitt, Josh that is, currently in 10th place. Start for the race. Does have a few things to do. We're looking at Cornelius now in the number 1 car, right alongside Ben Mascal. And the inside for turn number 1. Behind them, we have Callum Williams in the Toyota, Riquelme in the BMW. Right behind those, we have Young and Bats with a beautiful qualifying lap from Bats in 5th and 6th. And we have Ollie Hutton and Max Luding for 7th and 8th. And we have Sewald and Nesbitt, Josh Nesbitt, rounding out our top 10. Right behind them, we have Gilbert, Raid, Andringa, and Bristow. Madhouse will start alongside Bicorn, who couldn't get that last qualifying lap going. Johnson and Sokowski right in front of Paris and Porter for our final 2 cars. We're now looking onto the grid. 18 laps on this beautiful, beautiful track. Just a few more moments and then we'll get going. We'll have the lights in just about 5 seconds. They're already here and we're waiting for them to turn on and back off, ready for the start at Knockhill. Race 1 of round 3 is a go, and Cornelius trying to get away well on the inside line. Mascal is going to have the outside, doesn't bode well so far. Cornelius holding the line still, but is already passed by Mascal, who should have first place completely to his name. And that is a good run, as Riquelme is also trying to go around the outside, but Cornelius holding on to it for now. And Williams still holding, as we see some drivers dropping down the order. Has there been a big crash? It's from 14th downwards, a big pack, and it seems like there's a lot of contact, and that is Andringa down into the chicane. And that is Young dropping down as well. Young had a beautiful qualifying position. He's now dropping down to 15th. We see Raid being stationary, as well as Gilbert a little bit further back. Andringa slowing down. The first lap already almost completed. Ben Mascal taking the lead and leading lap number 2 on this 18-lap race. Cornelius still holding on a little bit behind, but the gap is increasing ever so slightly. Riquelme looking for something of an opening. The top 4 currently quite close. And Williams with the Toyota just simply not able to hold on. Gap increasing as we speak. Mascal still holding on to this. It's Cornelius. He's trying to get into that slipstream, but there's no real way of overtaking besides the big braking zone into the hairpin. And if you have the boost, remember that's allocation onto the championship standings. Cornelius currently 7th in the standings. Mascal is 10th. That means that Mascal has got more than Cornelius, and Cornelius is off. That's into the sand. And I don't know if that was the barrier. It might have been the barrier. Small contact for Cornelius as he drops down to 11th place. This is really good for Mascal because he's got way more allocation than Riquelme has. And then Williams is currently not in the top 10, so he will be a threat to Riquelme as well, who's currently 2nd in the standings, meaning he can only use his HEMS way sparingly compared to Mascal and Williams, who can use it plentiful. And that's going to give them a little bit of an advantage. Riquelme does get past Mascal, as we're looking at Josh Nesbitt, who's gained 5 positions from 10th all the way up to 5th. And like I said, those BMWs like to coop up, like to get themselves involved with each other. So up to 5th already, trying to move up the order. So Riquelme and Mascal currently in 1st and 2nd. Bicorn and Paris now intertwined with the battle. Looked like Bicorn had the upper hand, but Paris to run back. Bicorn a little bit quicker. Paris, number 33, still on the inside for turn number 1. Has a little bit more overspeed going into it, and that is a big jump there. 2 wheels for Paris. Bicorn now getting that run quite well as Porter is off the track. Some in the background going into the sand, really trying to trundle his way up, and that Williams off the track as well. Williams going slowly, and that is Mascal and Williams having contact. Williams now dropping all the way back. Mascal in 5th now, so he has dropped down quite a bit. I'm wondering what happened to Maskell. Currently in 5th place, putting Nesbitt in 3rd and Noah Batts up to 4th. Pretty strong showing. Ollie Hutton up to 2nd. It's a great start for the 93 Cupra. So we're already approaching the halfway mark of the race. It's only chaos here at Knockhill. Like I said, this car is quite big. 2 wide might happen, but 3 wide definitely not. Nesbitt a little bit wide onto the sand there through the chicane. Ollie Hutton in 2nd place. Got quite a gap ahead to Riquelme. Hutton has more hems to use. Maskell now getting past the Batts. It's undoubtedly the hems that he's used to get past. Batts are trying to switch something back, but Maskell holding the inside line, trying to cover off any move into the first turn. Set realistically only 2 places where you can do the overtakes. It's either on the straight on towards the hairpin or the straight into turn 1. This section here is all about the motion, all about the rhythm. If you mess up into turn 1, then you're going to be messed up all the way through onto the back, into this section right here. And Williams doing it quite neatly. He's got Sewalt behind him, looting quite close, and then this man, Bristow, is looking at the battle ahead. Like I always say, you're in a battle, you're only as fast as the slowest driver. So if you're defending, you're going to lose some time. Andring now with a small mistake here as well. And dropping down. It's currently in 16th. As Sukowski and Paris right in front of him are still fighting. Bicorn has dropped the gap behind a little bit bigger. So he doesn't have to worry about Paris too much. There we have him just disappearing on the left-hand side of the screen. Andring out towards the inside of Sukowski. We'll have a small look into turn 1, still on the inside line. Sukowski nowhere to defend. Will he get it into turn 1? Don't think so. Might just be as is. Alright, so from what I can see, we don't have audio. There we have it. Alright, apologies everyone for the for the technical difficulties. We've had a small issue on the broadcast side, but that should all be fixed now. That being said, we're just in time to have the final lap and the final bits of the race being shown. So we have Sebastian Riquelme finishing the race in 1st place, Ollie Hutton in 2nd, Josh Nesbitt going from 10th all the way to third place. It's quite a feat, if I do say so. So that's quite impressive, I should say, from Josh Nesbitt. Williams comes home in 4th place, Sewalt 5th, Cornelius 6th. It does look like Nesbitt had a small penalty applied, which puts him down to 4th place. And that does mean that Riquelme, Hutton, and Williams will have their hard compound selected for them for race number 2. So race 1, quite a spectacle. We missed quite a few laps in the middle of all of this. 18 laps. I think we saw the first 7 or 8, and after that we had only the last one, unfortunately. But there was quite some action. Still saw some collisions left, right, and center. But all that matters is that Riquelme has taken the victory, and Josh Nesbitt has dropped down, I believe, to 4th place. That's a difference of 7 points in terms of championship standings. That means that Riquelme has cut it down to 20 points, just 20 points. And that is quite a close gap. So that means the lead for the championship has been cut down from race number 1 on to race number 2. So that means that for race 2, the top 3 regulations that we have laid onto them. 2 compounds must be used at all times. So you have to either use the hard compound in race number 1, race number 2, or race number 3. Failure to do so will result in a disqualification for race number 3. So all the drivers currently in the top 3 will have those rules already applied to them, as they'll be starting on the hard compound. So that will be Riquelme in the lead for race number 2, because that is the finishing position for race number 1, will determine the grid for race number 2. And then once again, your HIMS allocation, your hybrid energy management system, will also be from the finishing position of race number 1. So that means that Riquelme will get the least amount of boost, and the driver finishing last will get the most amount of boost. More minutes for these drivers to get their bearings from race number 1. We saw quite some contacts, quite a few incidents. Some cars going off the track and the track limits being done. So we'll have a quick intermission, and we'll be back for race number 2. We are back live to the grid for race number 2, where we don't have the hard compound, but the medium compound in place. That's quite a difference from what we saw last week out in Alton Park, where the hard compound was absolutely nowhere. So the drivers in the top 3 forced to go on to the medium compound. Everyone behind has the choice to either run the softs or run the mediums. And those running the softs will have done their second race on the softs and will be forced onto the mediums for race number 3. Sebastian Riquelme currently at the number 16 BMW in first place. Ollie Hutton alongside on the front row. We saw Callum Williams in 4th place, but jumped up to 3rd after a last post-race penalty for Josh Nesbitt, who drops him down to 4th place, and that gives him the opportunity to go onto the softs for this second race of round number 3. And that means that he should have a little bit of an advantage over the rest of the grid. So the top 3 on the mediums, Josh Nesbitt on the chase. Behind that, we have Sewald also on the softs, so he'll be fighting with this as well. Cornelius, Bats, Madhouse, Young. And further back, we have Andringa, Sukowski, Gilbert and Maskel all taking this medium compound for race number 2 as the lights are on. We're waiting for them to turn on all 6 and turn off. Race number 2 to start at Knockhill. Riquelme on the inside line, quite well away. Hutton no way to get anywhere, but has been overtaken already by the looks of it. Is that a BMW shoving on through? Is that Nesbitt going through? It sure is Nesbitt up to 2nd place from 4th on the grid. And that is the soft compound for you. Standing start, a lot of grip for this number 99 BMW, who has taken 2nd place away from Ollie Hutton, dropping Williams down to 4th already, now on the chase to Riquelme. Just a few tenths separating the 2, but into the corners. This is where Nesbitt is going to have the advantage. Softs doing absolutely amazing work. And there have been some crashes in the back. That looks like a lot of cars stationary and also going slowly. Gilbert running 18th place, looting right behind him. Further up, we have Madhouse, Raid, Sokowski also going quite slowly. A little bit further back on the pack, we have Paris as well, and everyone else should have survived race number 1, as that's a big contact. Bristow is still going, but behind Cornelius. That's Cornelius down to 14th already. I believe he's dropping further and further back. As we have Bats now up in 5th, Sewalt in 4th. Bristow makes his way up to 6th place. And Maskel now in 7th. Looks like Hutton and Cornelius are all the way down. They might just be out of this race. That's Hutton parked on the side of the road. That will be his race over, as Cornelius already stuck into the pits. So Hutton, car stationary for a big incident. We do have Andringa, small contact as we saw with Bicorn. A little bit more taps here as they're going rough racing in the final corner onto the straight for lap number 3. Looks like Porter has the advantage for now. Bicorn taking the position away from Andringa. He's now just stuck behind it in 11th place, just outside of the top 10. But remember, everyone up to 12th place from 7th to 12th has the chance to get pole position for race number 3, as Bicorn now gets past Porter in the 4th, dropping back a tiny bit. Maskel now as well, currently down to 8th place. It looks like he's slowing down quite a bit. And he might just lose a few more positions, as this gaggle of cars is just trying to find his way through. Bicorn not too defensive, but Porter trying to look for a place to pass him. And as Maskel trying to go and defend, as Josh Nesbitt has passed Riquelme, who's now loads behind already. Now remember, the Hems delegation is according to finishing positions of race number 1. That's a bit wide for Riquelme. He's gonna have Williams and Sewald right up his rear soon as they can. Bristow and Bats also quite close. This fight is currently looking to be for 4th, but it might just be for 2nd place. And Nesbitt a lot more allocation than Raquelme. And that means that Nesbitt has got the upper hand on this track. Oh, that's a bit wide there for Williams. Raquelme for now still holding on to 2nd place. He's getting a little bit of a lead again. Williams not defensive into turn 1, knows that Sewalt can't make it. Will stick behind these 4. Will be fighting all the way through. Same line, it's kind of like a conga line going on through. Williams currently holding that final podium position. Sewalt on the chase. Bristow and Bats are no far away. And not far away, I mean, already past Sewalt up to 3rd place. And it looks like Bristow is making good moves on the inside of the final hairpin. Looks to get past 1, maybe even 2. That's Sewalt on to 3rd place, Bristow to 4th, and Williams from 3rd down to 5th place. Now close to the grasp of Bats. Currently in 6th, but Williams trying to fight back with Bristow for now. Doesn't appear to have the pace to get past his rival. So the 2 Toyotas scrambling for 4th. And Sewalt up to 3rd, carving that podium spot. Currently on the limit here for Raid and Sokowski as they're fighting for 12th place. Cupra and the Hyundai look to scramble away. Small gaps between the 2. And 12th place is quite important to be in. Bats now has a little shot at Williams into the final corner. And that does get past completely. And that's quite a cutoff there for Bats, and Williams instantly looking towards the inside, trying to see if he can make anything happen into turn number 1, maybe even on the straight. But it looks like he's just a little bit too far away. Bats getting ahead and up to 5th place. Definitely more confident compared to the last time out. Has found his rhythm, has found his groove. So Walton Bristow on the softs, definitely having that advantage with Bats and Williams on the same compound. Quite even. This is what they're making out of it. Bats, number 3, Hyundai, up to 5th. Trying to mess with these Toyotas. He's holding on to Bristow quite well, even though he does have a little disadvantage compared to the car ahead in terms of tires. Seeing quite the fight from Bats in the number 3 Hyundai. Even a small little look into turn number 1. So Bats looking at the tire compounds and saying, no sir, that will not impact me. That's a big look towards the inside. Very optimistic. But you have to make your opponent scared somehow. It does leave him vulnerable from Williams behind, who has to pace just a tiny bit more at this moment. So the look from Bats, of course, is going to mean that he's going to be dropping back a tiny bit. Bristow now sends it on Sewalt. He's gone a little bit deep into the hairpin. That leaves him vulnerable for Bats as well. He's trying to get back. We see Mascal and Young fighting in the background. Mascal and the BMW getting past. And Sewalt are trying to get back past Bristow again, but I don't think that's happening. So do I have another Hyundai dropping back behind the Toyota? So Bristow and Sewalt both on the soft compound. Bats and Williams on the medium compound. Two small battles as the rear locks are happening once again. Halfway through the race now, and the drivers are kind of pushing their tires to the absolute limits. Bats now towards the inside for the hairpin, trying to get past Sewalt. Like I said, not adhering to the difference in grip. Absolutely blocking off anything that Sewalt could do on that exit. And that's a beautiful overtake, a beautiful pass. It looks like there was a small little contact between Sewalt and Bats on the exit. That might have just been a small bump draft. Bats getting the better outcome of the two and up to 4th place. Meantime, Josh Nesbitt leading this race by quite a substantial amount. 6.5 seconds now back to Riquelme. That's partially due to the tire advantage that Nesbitt has currently on the softs. Will have to run the medium compound for the next race. But for now, able to run this soft and make the most out of it. And the draw that we're going to have after this race is going to determine what position our race winner will get. That's currently looking like Nesbitt. 10 out of 18 laps completed. As Baz and Sewald are mixing up positions a little bit further back. That's for 4th place currently into turn number 1. Baz still ahead. They're starting their 11th lap. So Nesbitt, quite a big lead now. Noah Baz holds on to 4th place. Bristow has gained a gap a little bit bigger. And Sewald is dropping back as well. Same for Williams. So it's looking to be quite a good battle here still for 3rd place. Don't think it's going to be for 2nd as Riquelme still about 2 seconds ahead. There he is. The gaps are closing towards the front and increasing towards everyone else. And Maskel has joined this battle now. We've seen him appear in the back as well, with Young in the Honda not too far behind. I think Bicorn starting to mess into this as well. So Young now with a personal best on the previous lap. And it looks like we've had a crash for Paris. He's down in 17th place. It's got a big incident. Don't think we have the angle for it, but he's off right in the middle of the chicane. Oh, there he is. That's not a happy looking car. And he's backwards on the track even. So he might have had a big incident trying to get a little bit too close to the inside. One small moment, the race can be over completely. He's still partially on the track, but that doesn't mean that he'll be out of this race. And luckily he's on the outside lines of the track, so Nesbitt, no hurry in getting past. I did get confirmation that Josh Nesbitt has used the mediums on race number 1, which means that he is safe to go onto the softs once more for race number 3. And that will be from position either 7th through 12th. That will be the place that he gets if he finishes this race in 1st place. We have seen in round number 1, even at Snellerton, we've seen some last minute changes, some last minute, I want to say incidents in the final sector. So we might see something happen still with Nesbitt. Let's pray that doesn't happen. I'm going to quickly audibly knock that one off on the table. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. Nesbitt currently a 10-second lead over Riquelme, who's currently still running that medium compound, holding on for 2nd place. As Bristow is getting quite close, looting now past Madhouse, who is also on the mediums, losing a bit of pace and dropping him back a position. Josh Nesbitt, an absolute master of this track at this point. 14 laps done, 14 laps completed. Quite consistent as well on the previous lap. Has got a purple sector 2, and I believe that has some contact with Sokowski and Andringa. Andringa being sent down to 16th place. Sokowski still in 11th. As we have Maskel being chased down by Williams, currently 6th and 7th. These are going to be the important positions. So Williams either wants to get past Maskel to get a better point scoring position. That will gain him a total of 1 bonus point in terms of the championship standings. But then again, 7th place might be one of the positions that will gain pole position. So you get 1 more spot if the number 7 or if the number 7 gets picked. You will get 1 spot lower on the grid if you're getting the overtake done for 6th place. Some of these drivers will be hovering from 7th to 12th just to get that little bit of an advantage on the final race, especially if they're carrying the medium compound now. Baz is going to have a little guy knocking on the inside of his mirrors, and that is going to be Sewald in the 1-2-3 car. Didn't quite close the Hyundais. An inter battle in sector number 1. That's a big slide for Bats as he holds it onto the track. That's going to slow him down a bit. It's going to lose some momentum going through the chicane. Does pick it back up again, but Sewalt now knows that Bats is struggling. She don't get that slide for nothing. Sewalt putting on the pressure. He's got a few more laps to try. With a few, I really do mean a few. It's only 2. It's a couple of laps to go. And Bats having to defend for these final 2 laps. And Riquelme needs to do the same as Bristow has chased up to this 2nd place. Drop down Bats and Sewalt have their own battle now. It's 15 seconds behind the leader. Find for 2nd place, Riquelme and Bristow. Riquelme starting on pole position, finishing race number 1 in the lead. Has got a visitor right behind him, the number 26 Toyota. Looking to get an overtake done. We'll have one more try on the next lap if he doesn't do so now. The BMW under a lot of pressure. It's been quiet the entire race. I did say that he wasn't going to be part of this fight, but Bristow had other thoughts. On the previous lap, already gaining a few tenths. Now, a few tenths more on the last lap. Personal best for Bristow as there's big contact into turn number 1. Both cars getting off the track. Riquelme trying to recover quickly. Same for Bristow. Riquelme recovered faster. Both of them having lost a lot of momentum going through. Riquelme and Bristow both not going to be happy about this. Let's see who has the most intact car. As Nesbitt will be crossing the line in just a second. And there he is. Race number 2 winner, Josh Nesbitt, number 99 BMW. Will have his podium, followed up by Riquelme, who's currently in 2nd place out of the final turn. And the Bristow will take home 3rd place on the soft snow Bats. In 4th, it's now a fight for 5th place between Sewalt and Maskel. Sewalt winning out on that for 5th place. Maskel in 6th. De Jong just barely getting an overtake done for 7th place. Williams down in 8th. Picorn will take 9th. Raid in 10th. Luding 11th. And Sukowski in 12th. Everyone else behind already lapped or DNF'd. That is Madhouse, Gilbert, Porter, and Andringa not qualifying for that pole position for race number 3. Paris, Hutton, and Cornelius out of this event. We'll have to start from the back of the grid for race number 3. But your race winner, Josh Nesbitt, 99 BMW, getting the victory by 18 seconds. Just use the mediums for race number 1, softs for race number 2. Tactically on that 4th position at race 1, starting 4th on race 2. And that's a load of points in his back pocket. That's going to be 33 points for Josh Nesbitt. He has struck back, and Riquelme might have dropped the gap by 7 points, but now Nesbitt has opened it again by another 3 points. That means that the gap currently for the lead, 23 points advantage to Josh Nesbitt. And Ollie Hutton unfortunately not able to score any points, and she will have to race 75% of the race. The points are being handed out for the top 15. So that means that Ollie Hutton will not get any points for race number 2, and he'll have to try again to move his way up. But his 5th position, currently a little bit vulnerable to the guys behind him. That is Johnson. Cornelius also with a DNF. Gilbert, quite a good finishing position. Bristow with a massive finishing position. And Maskel in 10th as well. Now for race number 3, we should have a live draw in just a moment, where P7 through 12 will have the chance of being picked. That means that the wheel is live. This is 6 through 12 even. So the number that gets picked is the position that will be reverse grid slotted. That will be number 7. So that means from P7 onwards, we will have the grid reversed. That means that Josh Nesbitt will start on for 7th on the grid. Some of these drivers in that top 7 will be forced onto the medium tire. And maybe, just maybe, Nesbitt can do the magic once again. But we'll see that after our short intermission. We'll be right back for race number 3. Yes, sir. All right, we should be back now for race number 3 with Young in pole position in the place of Josh Nesbitt. He's gained himself a victory on race number 2. So we'll be starting on 7th place now for race number 3. Young will be starting right alongside Sewalt in 2nd place. And that is going to be Young in the inside line for turn number 1. Right behind them we have Ben Mascal and Noah Batts on the row number 2, followed by Bristow, Rick Helme, and then of course Josh Nesbitt on row number 4 next to Callum Williams. Becorn and Raid on the medium compound, followed by Luding, Sokowski, Madhouse next to Gilbert. Then we have Porter, Andringa, Paris, and Hutton and Cornelius. Hutton and Cornelius had a small incident, should I say an incident, on the start of the race. The safety car was left out due to the technical issues that we've had. Safety car could not be moved at the start of the race. And that means that Ollie Hutton and Josh Cornelius had an incident with that safety car, meaning they were out of the race. Unfortunately, these technical issues sometimes happen. We'll have to learn and grow as we go on. So we're waiting for the final 20 seconds before the lights are out. And then we have Young on the softs, Sewalt on the mediums, Maskel on the softs as well. Various drivers still needing to go on that mediums. That is going to be Sewalt, Bats, Bighorn, Raid, Porter, Paris, and Hutton forced on that medium tire because they have to use both compounds in this round. 6 lines will go on. Young will be trying to hold on to that inside line, try to keep that first place as Sewalt is away quite well, but that is Maskel all the way on the inside from 3rd place on the grid. Will take P1 as Sewalt going to be looking to hold P2, and that is going to be a BMW quite on through, and that is Nesbitt. Josh Nesbitt trying to make his way through, but that is a disaster for the number 99 car. From 7th on the grid, he had his way through, but then got jumped off as he was way too deep into turn number 1 and down to P11. They're about dropping down the order now as well, as there seems to be a little bit more contact everywhere on the track so far. Nesbitt dropping down to 11th. Currently Maskel having the inside line, Young opening up the corner, and Raquelme having the opening to go right on through. And the BMWs, like I said before, are grouping up. And it's now Maskel leading Raquelme for lap number 2. And the number 16 car going a bit defensive, misjudging the braking zone onto the sand, onto the grass, and that's going to be a big barrier shot. Oh, but it keeps it out of it. Slowly trundles back onto the track. Be careful for Madhouse to not have an incident. Bighorn going through now as well. Bats right behind him. That's Raid, Matt Raid, the number 17 Cupra off the track. And this is after turn number 2. Going making his way into turn number 3. Bats now getting overtaken by Josh Nesbitt, who is grinding his way through the grid once more, from 7th down to 11th, now up to 8th place already, as Callum Williams and Bristow, Rick Bristow, currently fighting for that 3rd place. Noah Bats having Porter on his inside, but Luding very close behind as well, is going to be passing them as well. Luding 2 positions from the looks of it already in the inside line for turn number 1. And that's going to be 3 wide through the first chicane. And that's obviously going to be a disaster. That's a car off and getting back onto the track, swiping across, taking the shortcut route. And I believe that is Luding dropping down the order once more. And that is a big contact once more. Big crash into the chicane, into the 2nd chicane. And that is going to be Luding and Bats off the track. Luding out of the race. That is a definite DNF for Luding. So big contact in the chicane. Drivers are all going once again. Cornelius out in 11th. Big braking at that point. Andringa and Paris fighting now. Andringa in the 17 Cupra getting the upper hand, holding the inside line out towards the start finish line, towards turn number 1. And Paris looking for a way through, but judging your braking zones is of the utmost importance here. And Andringa does so perfectly. Keeps Paris behind, but that is a small mistake. And Paris right back on through. Big contact right behind. I believe that is both of them still going on well. And they are still going through. They made it through the chicane. And we have Andringa down to 13th. And Young, our pole sitter, currently dropping back about 3 seconds behind Maskel. This BMW quite strong on this track. The engine just a tiny bit too much on all of these straight lines. So that might just be a little bit too fast, too much. Bristow looking for a good position. He's currently right behind Has Williams, knocking on his door, trying to say hello and trying to say goodbye. Trying to get past Sewald, also in the graph, and Madhouse with the fight. Pecor now defending from Josh Nesbitt, a driver that has climbed the ranks numerous times. Couldn't do so in race number 1. Did so in race number 2. He's trying to do it again in race number 3. And has had to climb from 11th, currently stuck in 8th. And looks like Williams has lost 2 positions as he tried to get into. Now down to 4th. The inside wide open here for Pecor. Nesbitt not taking the bait. Just holding him behind. So this is the position that Nesbitt's finding himself in. He's currently fighting with the medium runner Pecor, and the French driver just a little bit too quick from the looks of it. Making her way through sector 1 now. Nesbitt, it's a bit too much curbing taken by that BMW. He's bouncing around all over the place. Small slide there as well, might just be tactical, but he's still behind the number 66 car. This is one of the cars that he wants to clear as fast as possible. This is the tire advantage that Nesbitt has, and he's just not using for this battle. Born in 7th, doing a good job of keeping Nesbitt behind. But the only person he's helping at this point is Riquelme. Currently, I believe he's a little bit behind. And the only thing he's doing now is just making sure that the gap doesn't increase more than it already is. And Thibaut Hurton, of course, not present. Ben Nesbitt, not present. Ollie Hutton has made his way up to 12th place. Will gain some points. But most importantly, Masquel, 10th in the standings, currently leading the race. So he's going to be cutting in some points as well. As Hutton is trying to defend from Andringa, who's making his way up the order. He's lost out on a fight. That's a lot of track limits being used there. Hutton a little bit too greedy there on the chicane. Saw Paris do that perfectly, but Ollie Hutton misjudging it. Now losing 2 positions, Andringa and Gilbert right on through, and it looks like Gilbert is going to take the position on Andringa now as well. And we saw Gilbert notify us through the live chat that it was a rough sledding today, but it looks like this move has just packed out quite well. It's chasing down Paris now on that medium tire, looking to extend the gaps behind. It looks like a lot of rear locking once more for these drivers. I believe that might just be by choice. If you lock the rears, it's easier to slide them around a little bit. As Josh Nesbitt has now gotten past Pecor. It has taken him about 4 laps, I believe, maybe 5 even, to get past the number 66 car. The gap ahead now just over 2 seconds to Madhouse. The number 18 Hyundai, currently in 6th. Position that Nesbitt wants to have to gain the most amount of points in today's race. Of course, he wants more positions, but for now, looks like this is currently in his grasp. Paris and Gilbert swapping positions a little bit further back for 11th place, and it looks like Paris will still hold on. Riquelme now past Pecor, instantly gets the chance and does it. Now the chase is on. These two are fighting for the championship lead. Riquelme struck in race number 1. Nesbitt struck back in race number 2, but a little bit less hard. And now it's Riquelme who can take the charge again and make sure the gap stays as small as it currently is. 2.5 between the 2 drivers, and we've contact between Hutton and Andringa. A little bit further back, it looks like they're both off the track in sector number 1 in the 2nd chicane. They're making their way back onto the track, but that is 16th and 17th for Hutton and Andringa, the 2 Cooper drivers off the track. As Andringa is now past Hutton, looking a little bit worse for wear. The number 17 ahead of the 93 car, making their way through. Porter now catching up to this group as well. This duo had a small contact. That's deep for Andringa. That's Hutton back on through. And Porter entering this fight. The 17th, the free position, and Andringa just dropping down. Now in 18th place. Pecor now getting picked off as Cornelius is also past. The BMW is just absolutely rapid around this track. Masquel showing that off, about 8 seconds towards Young behind, who had pole position. He's now in second place, just a second ahead of Williams and Bristow, who are also fighting quite closely. And Cornelius now past Bicorn, looking to chase down Raquelme. It's Nesbitt is taking another position up to 6th. As Sewald in the 1-2-3 car is the next target for Raquelme as well. And these two jumping the orders, jumping the grids, making the rounds, making their way through. Sewald, unfortunately, just a passenger in this fight. This is not his race. That is, I believe, Ollie Hutton going slowly. That is, that's Porter going. No, that is Ollie Hutton going slowly. He's parked to the side of the track. Don't know if this car is going to be continuing. Andringa is in the pits. Unsure if that car is going to be continuing, but Ollie Hutton parking it is still going. Let a lot of cars through. I'm not sure if he's going to be finishing this event. Raquelme and Sewald now side by side through the first chicane. Raquelme getting on through. Needs to pick up the pace. Nesbitt is already 2 seconds ahead of him. And there he is. Just disappearing out of view every single time. The 99 BMW. It's a little bit too quick now. His rival for the championship. Just disappearing from sight every single time he turns the corner. Can have a little whiff of him on the straight, but I don't think it's going to be close enough to do anything. So number 16, BMW just having to follow. And Sewald now almost in the clutches of Josh Cornelius, the number 1 BMW, right behind. Looking to do the same thing as the 2 car fans in front. So Gilbert already passed, Picorn already passed, Sewald, target number 3. And Raid has now survived a raid from Sokowski, but lost it from Paris. He was up to 12th place. And number 17, Cupra, not happy. Sokowski just zooms on past, but goes a little bit too deep. That's onto the grass, and that's definitely a loss of position once more. Raid getting it back. And Sokowski having to try again. He does have Bath right behind him. The driver we saw improve so well from round number 2 to round number 3. He's now instantly gotten past. That's a great move from Bat, as Cornelius takes Sewald as well. And now Raquelme has to watch out because Cornelius is on the chase. Currently 7th in the standings as well, so he is in this fight. Maybe for the championship. Remember, this is round number 3 out of 6. We're halfway through the season after this race. That means we'll have 3 more rounds to go. Donington Park GP next week. That's going to be a good race, and that's a car that is jumping around. I believe Paris is still on the track. Looked like he went off for a moment, but Callum Paris in the 33 Hyundai still making his way through. Currently in 12th, is chasing down ahead. It's got 2 seconds behind him. Sokowski has gotten past Raid now for real this time. Not going off in sector 1 on this time around. 16, lap number 16 is going to be started by Ben Mescal in just a moment. As he's currently 10 seconds ahead of Young in 2nd place. And he does have a small little fight here for 2nd place. Bristow and Williams are getting quite close. There they are, right behind them in view. And this is going to be for the podium spots. Rick Bristow, Callum Williams chasing down our Young. That's going to be a few more points on the board, because the difference in points between 15th and 16th is 1. Bristow makes his way brutally past Young. As he loses out 1 more spot to Williams as well. Side by side is the racing towards turn number 1. The question is, who will get the inside line? That driver will most likely have the advantage. It's currently looking to be Williams, as they are making the side by side, and that is Young being pushed back a tiny bit more, and Callum Williams going on through. Young dropping back to 4th place. And Nesbitt has already called back up, has passed Madhouse, the next target on the list for the BMW gang. So Nesbitt now chasing down Young as well. Madhouse having Riquelme in his mirrors. Small mistake there, big smoke cloud for the number 18 Hyundai. Having to be aware of his inside, and that's Riquelme sticking his nose in, getting the position. Looks to be done and dusted already. It's going to be definitely done after the end of this straight. This BMW is just a tiny bit too strong on this track. Izzy Cornelius already on the chase as well. Riquelme in 50.8. Almost the fastest lap currently in the hands of Ben Mascal at 50.4. Cornelius now on the chase as well. He's looking to do the same thing as his buddies did before him, and Williams now getting past Bristow. He appears to have a little bit of a sand fight with himself, touching the sandbox a little bit too much there. The number 26 car, Toyota, dropping back into the grasp of Nesbitt. Josh able to maybe get that place, and definitely after that lockup there, just all the way onto the sand. It's going to lose not one position, that's going to be 3. As that is Riquelme and Madhouse through as well. As Cornelius makes a mistake. Cornelius is now off the track and trying to recover, down to 10th place. Could have been 6th. That is 10th for Cornelius. Gilbert on the chase, right behind him. It's a 7-second time loss, maybe even 8 for Cornelius. Number 1 BMW dropping on back. It's the final lap for the drivers, and Josh Nesbitt has prospect of a podium, but he will have to do it now, as Mascal will take the victory for race number 3. He's got 1 corner to go for Nesbitt to take away that 3rd place finish from Young. Paul Sitter now holding on to it ever so slightly. The Honda still there, and Josh Nesbitt drag race to the finish line. Young showing him the way and claiming that 3rd spot for himself, with Callum Williams in 2nd place. So Nesbitt in 4th, Riquelme right behind in 5th. And the difference in points for that is 2. That means 25 points for the championship. Madhouse in 6th, Sewald 7th, Bicorn in 8th. Cornelius still gets 9th place. Gilbert holds 10th. Bristow all the way down to 11th, unfortunately. Bats in 12th, Paris in 13th. Zukowski, Raid, and Porter for 14, 15, and 16th. Holly Hutton, Andringa, and Luding, all 3 not finishing race number 3 of round 3 at Knockhill. So your race winner for race 3, Ben Mascal. 3 different race winners. That's something else that we saw last week out, where I believe Josh Nesbitt got all 3 of them to himself this time around. We've had Riquelme, we've had Josh Nesbitt, and we have had Ben Mascal take a victory. So that's 3 different race winners in 1 round, and that is what Knockhill can do. Beautiful racing by the lads here in the 2025 BTCC Championship here at Knockhill. Definitely excited to see some more next time around in Donington Park. Championship standings will definitely shake up after tonight's round. But from my calculations, we should have a 25 points difference advantage to Josh Nesbitt. Riquelme is still in 2nd, but I'm pretty sure that Thibaut Gerten and Ben Nesbitt have been overtaken, or might have been overtaken, by some of the drivers behind. We've had Hutton in 5th, Johnson in 6th, Cornelius in 7th, Gilbert in 8th. We have Bristow in 9th, Mascal in 10th. And with that victory, Mascal getting 20 points at the very least. It's going to be putting him into Johnson's range at the start of this weekend. So we might have to do some calculations in between. I'm sure if we can get that on the broadcast now, but we should have see if we can get that on the screen. But in the meantime, big congratulations to Riquelme, to Josh Nesbitt, and to Mascal for getting the victories in today's race. Next week out, of course, we have Donington Park. The GP layout will, of course, provide some very good racing as well. And afterwards, we will have Silverstone National and Brands Hatch GP as well. So these are the championship standings before we went into today's racing. So Josh Nesbitt leading Riquelme with 27 points. Riquelme having a big jump on that for race number 1. And then Josh Nesbitt biting back in race number 2. And these are the updated standings after this event. Josh Nesbitt with 169 points in P1. Riquelme in second with 144 points. Ollie Hutton still he's jumped up to 3rd place after his fantastic race 1 finish. Thibaut Geurten and Ben Nesbitt both being overtaken by this man. And then we have Rick Bristow, who's gone from 9th to 6th place. Ben Mescal from 10th to 7th. Cornelius from 7th to 8th. Sewald has jumped up and gained a few spots from outside of the top 10. I think it was 11th now to 9th. And Callum Williams is currently in 10th place. Johnson drops from 6th out of the top 10 to 11th. And Gilbert from 8th down to 12th. Noah Bounce up to 13th place. He's getting quite a lot of points today as well. Young to 14th. Madhouse 15th. Pecorna 16th. And Luding in 17th with 21 points. But the points difference not that big for our top 3. Of course, there's going to be a big jump from 1st to 2nd and from 2nd to 3rd. But Ollie Hutton still in it. Thibaut Geurten still in it. And it's 3 points between the two. 1 to Nesbitt. And then further down, it's equal points for Bristow and Mescal, who have Cornelius right behind him. So this rounds off Knockhill for round number 3. Next week out, we will have Donington Park GP. It's going to be a blast as well. Same format, same drivers, same stuff as we saw today. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining us for round number 3, and hopefully we'll see you again in round number 4. Have a good night, and until next week.